Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Different way to start.
That's it. Shake it up a bit. Welcome to Lifessa Lounge, episode 28. How we doing, boys?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good?
It's been a decent week. Weather's not so great today, but it's been a decent week.
Oh, it was crap.
Yeah.
Good. Benjamin?
I'm alright.
Good stuff. So what's been going on this week?
Well, it's been a few things going on. Like we've had the back and forth in Europe with Theresa May and Juncker. And Juncker insulting the Brits, saying that English is no longer an important language in Europe.
That was the stupidest comment I've ever heard, by the way. Like, I was like, Brexit does not change the state of the world. English is still going to be a primary language. I can't believe you said that.
And so he's antagonising the UK as well. I don't think Europe understands that. You keep doing that, it makes the Brits more. It helps Theresa May because it makes people want to vote Tories even more. Get Brexit passed through.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any difference. It's going to pass through whatever. They're right in what they've said. Her taking majority of the cabinet doesn't make any difference. It's not going to make it any easier. And her saying, what'd she say? I'm going to be a bloody difficult woman. Oh,
like Margaret Thatcher.
Oh yeah, but I don't care. Just behave.
But 50 billion.
Fake.
Yeah, and they said that they're going to charge Europe, UK, 50 billion a year to be part of the single market.
Yeah, this was all known. This was all known when we voted out. Like,
50 billion.
This was hidden behind. You're going to save 100 million a week. Oh yeah, actually you're not. You're going to pay more.
So is there still a chance that we could stay in the EU?
No, they are.
Technically it can be done. The person who even wrote the bill said there's nothing to say you can't go back, but they won't go back because they'll be scared. They won't go back on the basis of they'll say, well, now we're scared that we'll piss off the majority of the country, right? So we can't go back on what we said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've spoken to some people and they're thinking now with this whole new election thing that there may be a chance.
No, there's no saviour. There's no saviour.
We've done our
Also this week in the UK, local elections, Labour lost 125 seats. I'm sorry, Diana.
Didn't the Tories nearly get a hole across the board, and then the only one that they lost was, and I don't understand why, but it was they had to draw straws for the last one, and they didn't. I don't understand why they had to draw straws.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't understand.
They literally, Tories are literally, because if they wiped out UKIP, all the UKIP voters have gone to Tories. And the joke thing is that what's happened is that the majority of the UKIP voters were ex-Labour voters, and they jumped from Labour to UKIP to Tories because they want Brexit and they want all this other stuff. So and then I'm thinking local elections, I don't vote in them because I didn't know it happened. They don't really popularise them. I'd vote in them if they told me that was happening. I don't think it happened in London.
Did you know?
I don't think it happened in London. I think London happened when London.
I just saw it on the TV.
But
I didn't know it was happening.
I don't think it happened in London because London was. We had the mayor election. That's when we got for our local councillors and stuff. London mayor elections. I'm trying to talk. Steady, slow down. It's just this and Labour. It makes me more worried that in June 3rd or June 13th or June, I don't know, June 3rd or whatever, that Labour are going to get wiped out because if the Tories win local elections that easily, and the country is still supporting the Tories, they're going to win by 25 points. That's terrifying.
That's not really terrible. Some things are inevitable. I'm not being funny. I don't want to say they're full of idiots, but they were certainly not full of competent people.
Oh yeah, Diana proved that this week. Diana. So she was on Nick Ferrari's show on LBC, and
it's embarrassing.
Nick Ferrari, she said
he's unforgiven though as well when he.
He was taking no prisoners.
He's golden. So she said Labour are going to provide 10,000 extra police people in I think 5 years, and he said how much is that going to cost? Initially, she said 300,000. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but that doesn't sound right. So then he pressed her on it and said, that doesn't sound right. That looks like it's going to be like, what, 8,000, or not even 8,000, like £2,000 a year. And she's like, no, it's like 80 million. And 80 million, you're like, that doesn't sound right either. He's telling me that, so each 10,000, all of those 10,000 officers will get £10,000 a year salary. And then she was just like, so they're saying, I don't know the answer. She just said, I don't know what she said. She was just chatting crap.
Yeah, but it didn't make any sense because, as you were just saying there, right? Oh, but sometimes when you put on the spot, and I get that, if you go into a Q&A or you go into a debate where it can go anywhere, then you make sure you prepare, but sometimes you might get caught with a curveball. If you raise a point yourself, you need to know your facts. If you've gone into an interview and you're going to advocate certain policies, then you need to know your facts. Otherwise, you simply haven't prepared, and that's inexcusable.
Well, you know what is even worse is that one on LBC was her 7th. She had already done 6 others before.
But
this is what she said.
But she had never mentioned the numbers. She kept saying the point, but she never mentioned the actual cost of it.
But when that lady was going at her on the politics show, she was saying, "Oh, I had done. If you'd have seen the 6 others that I had done, you would see that I do know my figures, and that by this time, basically, she's saying that her mind got frazzled.
This is her job.
No, but then the lady was like, "No, she only listened to 1 or 2, and she said you didn't mention figures." And then she just started skirting over it. You're not focusing on the real issues.
But that's the issue with Labour at the moment. Is that Labour, they have like decent policies and their policies are forward thinking, but the country don't believe that they're competent. They're competent enough to.
There's no confidence.
There's no confidence in them. And what was worse is that she was on TV again after the local elections, and they asked her. She went, "Well, I don't think it's." They were like, "Labour are facing wipeout." And she's like, "I don't think it's that bad. We've only lost 50 local councillors." And behind her, screaming, it is like a really bad week for her. He said it was a car crash. It was a car crash, proper car crash. So Diane Abbott didn't do so well.
Struggling.
In other news, Trump across the waters in America. He repealed Obamacare finally, and he's going to bring through Trump Care, whatever. And
is he calling it Trump Care?
I don't know what he's calling it. All I know is that
he would call it Trump Care, wouldn't he?
All I know is he won't call it Trump Care. It's received badly. He'll call it someone else's problem. But he is basically repealing Obamacare, which means that he's given the powers to the state of the state. They can reject people now for healthcare, which means that a lot of people that have pre-existing conditions will lose their healthcare automatically. Because most insurance companies won't. If you've got a pre-existing health conditions, your premiums are going to be quite high.
Okay.
So that's what's happening in the world of politics and news this week.
Politics and news. Interesting stuff. I wanted to touch on, I don't know if you saw what happened to Aaron Lennon.
Oh yeah.
This week as well, which was, he got taken into mental health.
Yeah, he was caught on the motorway. They thought that he was going to commit suicide, so they detained him on the Mental Health Act.
Yeah.
He said it was stress, and it said not long term, so I don't think it's anything too serious. It might have been that he reached his breaking point, and they caught him. I was thinking, I'm not trying to make fun of it, but I was thinking, he's so small. If you saw him on the motorway, anyone can grab him and hold him and say, "Don't jump." Did you see that on the bridge? That guy that was trying to jump, and all the Londoners held him, so the police came to get him off the bridge. And the same, like if you see someone, like if you see anyone looking over a bridge, looking at a beat, looking over, just like talk to them or grab them so they don't. Jump.
I just thought it's just reinforcing the fact that celebrities, they're human as well.
Yeah.
They have their own troubles, they have their own personal stuff that they go through. A lot of the time we look at celebrities and think they've made it, they've got their life sorted, but they have a different sort of type of stress.
I saw in the Daily Mail this week with Aaron Lennon thing saying, just because of look at this footballer who earns £80,000 a week, and how bad must life be?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but that's so single-minded because it doesn't overlook the fact that. So it's funny because the same people say that will have the age-old cliche of money doesn't buy happiness. Don't be wrong, money can make life a lot easier, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're stress-free for the rest of life. As you see all the time, everybody fights a battle that you're not aware of, right? I think we overlook that.
I know, it's just like obviously what happened to Gary Speed, who killed himself, and he was obviously fighting his own battles, and it just doesn't mean that.
I think it goes to the point that men suicide, we don't talk enough. We don't actually talk enough, so we have issues we don't share, and we always keep them to ourselves until it gets too much, and then it boils over. I think women find it easier to talk amongst each other about everything, because they have their clips, they have the coffees and stuff like that. But men rarely do that.
Yeah, but men have friends.
But when we
I don't think it's that. I think it's there's different connotations with it. I don't mean this in a sexist way. There's different expectations almost in society of men, so you don't...
Vulnerability.
Exactly. You don't expect to show your vulnerabilities, especially if you're on show to the public. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background, but you can't afford to let that come out because of what it might do to your persona to the outside world. I think it's generally the same for guys anyway. I don't know, how many times do you have a conversation with somebody about the issues they've got going on?
Yeah, it's not...
It's hard anyway. Yeah. Have you ever tried, like,
it's hard opening up.
Yeah, it's hard opening up.
Yeah.
When you ask your friend what's wrong, most people say, I'm fine.
I'm fine, yeah.
I'm okay. And most of the time that means I'm not okay, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm dealing with it. I'll deal with it.
And you know, that's a question you just ask just normally, isn't it? You see somebody, how are you? I'm okay. And you never hear, they may not be okay, but they always say, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I think it's a British thing, because I work with a Dutch bank, and the Dutch always say this. They never ask how you're doing.
Yeah.
They don't care. They ask how you're doing. They really want to know how you're doing.
Yeah.
The Brits, we just say how you're doing, being polite. So are you okay? It's just like, okay, I don't really care if he's okay. I'm just asking him to show that I care. If he comes back to me and says, oh yeah, I'm having a bad time. Like, why did I ask him for? I've got bad things to do. You know what I mean? But like people in Europe, they only ask if you're okay if they really actually
They
want to know.
greet people differently.
They greet people differently. They don't go, are you okay? Because we say, what are you up to? How you doing? What's up?
Yeah.
And they look at us like, what's up? Like, I'm not going to tell you everything that's up. So it's that different way of communicating. It's hard. I think it's hard. I struggle letting people in because I don't want people to have a different perception of me.
Okay.
And what that means is that if I'm messing up, which I do quite regularly in other stuff like finances or if it's like with relationships or friendships and stuff, I usually keep to myself and I deal with myself. You rarely hear me ask people for money or ask people for advice on certain things. I usually go and speak to my mum or speak to my brothers and stuff like that. I keep it really in a circle. I don't really show vulnerability out of circle.
Yeah.
And I think that's also it's not a good thing about my personality because it means that if I'm in a mood and I'll be in the mood and I'll be quiet and people will be like, what's wrong? And I'll keep to myself. Yeah. And then it festers. It would be easier if I just sometimes easier and cathartic to speak to people because some people actually have they've gone through the same thing you've gone through and give you advice and tell you where to get help from or even offer you the help that you might need.
Are you trying to change?
I try to change. It's hard. It's hard because of pride.
Yeah.
I'm very prideful, so it's hard to let people know that I've messed up on something or I'm messing up in my life in the area. Because people see this one side of your life. Well, you qualify as an accountant, you've got a nice car, you've got a nice girlfriend, everything's good for you. And then if you're messing up in one other area, they look at you a bit different. Like, why are you messing up? Are you stupid? And then you think to yourself they might lose respect for you, and the interaction with them might be different.
But do we sometimes think that they're thinking that when they're maybe not even thinking
most people aren't.
Yeah,
most people aren't. But we put our own agenda.
It's that fear. It's that whole fear thing,
that's
isn't
thing,
it? When fear isn't really real. What I find is that if I talk to somebody once, then they're the people that I feel like I can open up to because I've done it before, and then I think I don't need to maybe do it. Open up to other people because I've got my people that I can go to, if that makes sense.
But what you find is that it's always good to have. You can never stop learning from people. Like one lesson I got taught from one of my very good friends is that you can learn from everyone. You can learn from the homeless guy on the street because you can learn how to be homeless. Yeah. You can learn from his mistakes that he's made, his story, and you can learn how not to be homeless. You can learn from the person that's an idiot because if you can learn, no, you should. You can learn
not to be an idiot.
You can learn how not to be like that person. Interacting with them. So you can learn from everyone. So I'm not saying share your issues with everyone, but not be afraid to spread your network or spread your circle because it's helpful when you get different ideas, different points of views. It's easier because sometimes I don't usually share my problems with people because I assume that the people, my friends, my inner circle, think that same thing as me. So if I go to someone else that's not in my circle, they might come with a different response and a different idea, a different perspective that I wouldn't see because I think my friends all think the same way as me or on the same wavelength as me. So.
No, I think when it comes to communicating, I think we spoke about it before, is you need to start having more interactions with people, isn't it? Rather than phone and emails and WhatsApp, and
you get so much more value.
So much more, from talking face to face, and it doesn't happen enough.
It's just prioritising. And also, it's people actually saying to someone, like Ben says, like, Ben's normally working, like, if he's on the weekends when he's got time, he's working. But if I said to Ben, Ben, on Saturday, do you want to go for drinks at 3 o'clock? Yeah. He will set that side time aside to go and meet me for drinks, because even though he's working, he can say, okay, I'm going to meet Josh for a couple of hours for drinks, and I'm going to go back to my work afterwards. It's that setting that side. It's not saying, oh, Ben, what are you up to? Are you free now? He could be busy. You know what I'm saying? It's setting that.
Ben don't like that. Don't call Ben if you don't give him rewarding. Don't
dictate my schedule to fit in with yours.
But you know what I mean? Like, so, like, if we're gonna meet up, we schedule ahead and we say, okay, Saturday at 3 o'clock we go for drinks, we go for lunchtime drinks, we spend a couple of hours together. Then afterwards we say, okay, he's got work to do, go back to his work. So he scheduled that time. People don't schedule the time enough. They're too busy in their own life to think like, oh, let me call this person up and say, oh, do you want to meet up? Because they're thinking that person might be busy and say, oh, why should I meet up with that person?
It's funny when people do that, because I think people do that to me a lot, because they're like, well, you're working. I'm like, but if I'm not doing something, then why would I not be working? In general, I don't really need to just sit on the sofa and watch TV. Yeah. So me telling you I'm working, if I'm not doing something else, there's nothing illogical about that. It's the same as you saying, well, I'm just watching TV. Doesn't mean I can't break it, but oftentimes people will be like, why are you so busy all the time? And I'm like, or what I've heard before is people will be like, you seem like you're not yourself lately. Why? Because I'm not constantly contacting you to go and meet up, because there's always like a reason to not do it, which is fine. But that doesn't mean if when you're free, you call me and say, do you want to do this? It's very rare I'll say to somebody, no, I'm flat out not free. If I've got prior arrangements, then fine, I've got prior arrangements. If the equivalent is I'm going to be at home just working, then I'll be like, yeah, I'm free. If you do me during a weekday, it's a bit different. But on a weekend, it's very rare that I'll just turn somebody down. But people do that a lot. I think, and sometimes, it's like you've said before, sometimes you need to just say, let's get it in the diary, and then sometimes you move it. But I do feel that people in general lose the value of actual interaction over, again, for me, it's always difficult for me. It's the way that people handle and manage the technology that's available in front of them. I always still believe that your phone and your extensions through social media help you to bridge a gap. But at the same time, people used it in the wrong manner, which actually caused a problem. So I've seen, for instance, in WhatsApp conversations where people come to blows about stuff they would never come to blows about in person, because there's no tone when you're talking in WhatsApp, so anything can come across as rude and abrasive when you didn't mean it like that. And at the same time, half of them it's just noise. It's just noise that sometimes makes you think, I can't even be bothered to have a conversation, because it's just all noise going on in here. And again, you can't have an open conversation. I've had conversations where I could have a conversation with somebody on WhatsApp, for example, but I know what their stance is going to be, and I know I cannot get my point. It's not that I can't articulate it. I know that I'm not going to accept my point via WhatsApp, so I don't do it. Whereas if you have a conversation in person, you can go in so many different places, and you learn so much about people, and people can open up more, but people just don't do that. I do think there is a loss of
WhatsApp and I won't say it's WhatsApp for everybody, because everybody's WhatsApp, and I'm in loads of different groups, but you can get into a situation on WhatsApp, and then it's really hostile. And then you see that person, it's like, yeah, man, what's happening? You good, yeah. And then it's just all forgotten. And you just think, what was that whole episode about?
Also, it's that thing, it's a group thing. When you're in a WhatsApp group, you rarely,
when the spotlight's
on a WhatsApp and a one-to-one conversation, you rarely have that standoff or come to blows with things. So when it's in a group setting and everyone can see what you're saying to each other, and everyone, because imagine it's the same thing being in the playground when someone goes, your mum, and then you might not think,
or someone goes, ooh,
someone goes, so that causes you to react. It's literally that thing that you're on the playground and you're on WhatsApp, and then someone says something to you that might be deemed derogatory, and then you might not think, I don't care, but everyone's going, ooh, you're going to take that from me. Don't have that. And you're literally thinking, I've got to step up now.
But you do that when you're in a playground scenario, right? Because you don't have that level of maturity when you're at school, and it's very important to be accepted by people because you're relatively confined in where you can go. When you grow up, you're not confined to the people that you can meet. Therefore,
it's still the ego.
Oh,
and
the
the whole
ego is
macho.
yeah, but don't get me wrong.
everything.
So when I look at it, I'm like, I find it hard. I understand it because I've been there before at younger years. I find it hard to relate to because I can't understand why you don't take the higher ground. I find it difficult to see when people get drawn into arguments that quite easily they either don't need to start or they can walk away from, or they spend all of their time occupied because they don't want to, because they're so worried about what everybody else thinks.
Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to. Because I got into a debate, I can't remember when it was now, earlier on in the week or whatever it was. But it was just like, you know what, I have work to do, but if I leave now, it's going to be like, oh, Leon's run away, da, 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 da. So I stayed in there for a little bit, but then I had a meeting, so I said, look, 10 o'clock's coming, I'm leaving at this time, and I feel the gap talking brief, shooting.
I just, like, you sometimes just go, let's agree to disagree. It's not saying that I don't agree with you, you have to agree with me, let's agree to disagree and keep moving on. Let's just move on. That's not
But you can't always do that as well. Some people don't want to agree to disagree.
Right.
They want you to agree to the fact that they're right. They need they need their ego boost.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to be honest, I actually can walk out of those because I don't. The bottom line is, I don't care enough.
Yeah, that's
I don't care enough
Okay.
what somebody. If somebody else wants to take a certain view of me, which I know does not hold true, then I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, and we spend so much time and so much expended effort trying to please everybody else. When the bottom line is, how much does it really matter what everybody else thinks if you're comfortable with the way you're going? Because you'll find that the 10% of people who truly understand you and know your value, they're the ones you go to. The 80%, the 90% of people that are left, nearly got my figures right there. 90% of people that are left are just like, I don't really need to care about you, but we don't. We want to please 100% of the people across the board.
Yeah.
That's why when I was, I can't remember, I think it was a Jonah Berger podcast I was listening to, and he was like, what you find is obviously when people talk in person, there's a lot better interaction because it's a lot more open. Whereas when you talk on anything that is a medium, like whether it be WhatsApp or Facebook, everything is pre-staged.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks about exactly what they're going to write before they write it. So if I'm having a conversation and so I've got stuff going on in the background and we're having a conversation, it may come out in conversation, I've got this stuff going on. Whereas if I'm going to post something on it, and a good example we put was, this is why people always post positive status updates on Facebook, because they might go to say something that makes them vulnerable to the world, and the moment they're about to click enter, no. Let me look back and paint a rosy picture. But when you're talking face to face, you can't. Once it's said, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
Right. So it opens up much better interaction.
And I know you wanted to discuss the ability to sort of be critical of yourself and use that as an offensive mechanism, because if you then put it out there first and you can be critical of yourself, you can sort of take rejection a little bit more.
I don't know why this came up in my head in the middle, because I wasn't watching the film either, but it just reminded me, I took from the last scene in 8 Mile, where he's like, so he's had all these rap battles all the way, he knows all of his weaknesses, he drops them all out there, and then says, I've just admitted to the world what my weaknesses are, what have you got left on me?
Yeah. That's what, and actually at school there used to be a boy, I ain't going to say his name, he's quite well known, and he was really fat and really strong, but like everyone respected him because he would say I'm fat. So what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I can't say anything because he's richer than me. He's got more style than me. Everyone loves him. I can't really diss him. He's going to find everything to diss me. All I'll say is you're fat and like you breathe heavy. But other than that,
but it's a degree of. I think the thing is, the underlying point of it is. Well, some of it might be a fake, but some of it is just the sheer self-confidence. Yeah. I know my weaknesses. I can admit them to the world. The moment I admit them to the world, there's nothing you can say to me that is going to get to me because I can already say that. I can look past it. So I think there's a degree of underlying self-confidence within that.
Isn't it that you realise when you get to a certain point that everybody has weaknesses, so you don't need to be so beat up about your weaknesses. You should sort of embrace it because you've got positives as well. I don't know if that's a way to look at it.
Nobody's perfect.
Exactly. Also, if you admit your weaknesses, you can work on them. When you don't admit them, you can't work on them.
Yeah.
When you know that you're overweight, you can go and say I'm overweight. I'm going to gym and work on it. If you know that you put your foot in your mouth all the time, you can pause and think before you talk. If you know that you come across arrogant, you can actually then tailor the way you talk to people so you don't come across arrogant.
That's another thing. You've got to take on board feedback from people, right?
No,
But some people may say stuff and then you'll be blinded to it and be like, I'm not like that, you're talking rubbish.
I honestly believe that most people know before people tell them.
They do. So it's an interesting point. So when you, if you listen to Tim Ferriss' podcast, he always asks certain questions. So one of them tends to be, what is your self-talk at a moment in time when you face something really tough in life? And it's interesting when people give the answer, because it's that, what you often find is people are aware of the problems that they've got. Sometimes they don't want to admit to it, but they know that it exists. They might glass over white, but that's nonsense, everybody's making it up. Underline translation of that is, I know it's wrong, but I don't want to admit to my vulnerabilities, right? And it's interesting to see what is your self-talk. And I thought about this last, not for a good reason, right? But I was like, what is the self-talk that allows people to maintain self-confidence despite what goes on in the world around them or potential challenges that they face, right? The reason this came up was, I don't know why this realization came about, but I was like, coming up in August, I'm not happy about this, but I've been single for 7 years. 7 years. Yeah. That's a long time, right?
Long time, bro.
But that's a long time, and just in the same position, right? And you could get to a point in time where actually, because I was reading, I can't remember, maybe it was an article.
But that doesn't mean that he's not had any girls in 7 years. He's just been single.
I'm not 7, but that's not the point. What I mean is, you can get to a point where, for some people, it would play on their self-confidence. What is wrong with me? What am I really that undesirable? Am I that hard to be around? I'm using this just as an example of it, but there are a lot of things where people can, the outside world, if you allow the situation to dictate and everybody's feedback to dictate, you can find yourself wallowing in self-pity, like, what is wrong with me? Whereas I have a continual self-talk that it's never played on my subconscious. And to be honest, when I was younger and growing up, if I said to somebody now, when they see me at like 12, I'll be 30 and I won't have had a girlfriend for 7 years, that would not have come as a surprise to a single person, because I had no game, no guile, like nothing, right? If somebody had seen me at like 18, 19, once I started to get myself sorted, they would have probably been like, no, I don't think that that's going to be the case. But there's a continual point along there where there has to be a self-talk within you that builds your self-confidence to the outside world. Because you've raised it before, and I can't really give you the full answer for the question, but you're like, you used to be shy. What was it that helped you overcome that? And I'm like, I think it's just your ability to have that ongoing self-talk. You need to be receptive to your weaknesses you need to be acceptant of your weaknesses, right? And I've said before, I'm not trying to plug the gap and fix all of my weaknesses. Some of them, I just accept their weaknesses, and if I go into battle, then I'll find somebody else to be in my army who can help compensate for that, right? But in accepting that it's a weakness, I've taken that on board. You can't hold it against me because I've taken that on board. Either I will work to develop against it, or we'll say, that's my weakness, but you know what, I've got somebody else in my team who helps compensate for that. Usually that tends to be like a skills-based weakness. Sometimes it can be like, some people, for instance, are not that good at showing empathy. So they might have in their leadership team someone who can soften the blow. So they give this massive message, this is how I'm going to put it on horse, and then they've got somebody in their team who says, do you know what, you might need to think about how that lands home, right? So that's the strengths and the weaknesses piece. But we've touched on it before, but it's one of those I think everybody needs to have. It's an interesting question. It's the kind of thing that when Tim Ferriss does interviews, he's like, I like these things because I can ask the questions that you would never ask over coffee, but you think these would be really interesting questions to ask people, but they're just not the norm to ask somebody in a one-to-one conversation. Like when you go to somebody, if we're out for dinner, I'd be like, what's your self-talk in that hard time? Because it sounds like an interview question, but at the same time, it's a really good question when you're asking someone face-to-face, because as you say, you can learn a lot from everybody. And I know when I listen to podcasts, especially Tim Ferriss's ones, is he's asking questions to pull out key habits and things that you may be able to adopt in your life. But we don't do that with people around us. And there's as much value that you can get from people that you know as you can get from super famous people who have been massively successful.
What would your self-talk be if you had one? Should I come back to you?
No, I don't mind it.
Yeah? You don't want to put it out there?
No, I don't care. Mine is fuck it. It literally is fuck it. I don't care. That's why when I worry about certain things, like if I worry about like money or things that are gonna like stress me out, like my tires went, or when I have to like buy a brand new bed and stuff like that, I worry about it, and I said, can I control it? No. What can I control? I'll focus on that. And the things I can't control, fuck it. And that's how I deal with things. So I don't get stressed out about things. Like I can get stressed out about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And the way I've learned to deal with it is to go, can I control it? Yes. Okay, I'll focus on what I can control. If I can't control it, fuck it. It's not gonna make me miserable. It's not gonna make me depressed. I'm not gonna give any power to it. I'm gonna focus on the things that I can control.
Yeah.
And other things I can't control, fuck it. And that's my attitude to a lot of things that stress me out. Even at work, we had month end. We had to get 5 days working to 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let's focus on the things I can control. The things I can control is me and getting my work out. I can't control the network going down. I can't control the internet going down or the emails not working and stuff like that, which actually happened. I'm not stressing out about it. It's not my fault. I've worked hard. The computer's not working. It's IT's fault. IT should fix it.
Clearly, yeah.
IT should fix it. I'm not going to stress out about it. I've done everything in my power to get this thing done on time, which we did do. And last minute, the network went down. Normally, if people get stressed out about it, they're like, oh crap, all this hard work we've done for us. Fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? And if the worst that can happen, if I can live with it, I'll live with it. That's what I constantly do. Like when I'm like getting stressed out about something, I'm like, I'm running late. Is it my fault I'm running late? Yeah. What's gonna happen when I get one? What's the worst that happen? Is it that bad? No point getting stressed out. When you see people run for this, I always think when you see people run for the stuff, that's when they get hit by buses and stuff, and they fall over. No, it's true. I always say when I see people cross the road and they run across the road and the car stops, and I'm like, whatever you were running for to cross the road for was not as important as your life. And you running across the road and you're in danger of your life just not to be late to work. Now, if you got hit by the bus, you wouldn't be thinking I'm late to work. You'd be thinking, hopefully I'm not dead, or my leg's broken. That's the worst that could happen. So it's not that important. So if you are running late, what's the point of worrying and making it and make yourself even more worried and more stressed out? Just relax and deal with it. It's not nothing's as bad as you think it's going to be. Unless it kills you, it's nothing as bad as you think it's going to be. So when you get stressed about things, just
fuck it. Your self-talk.
I have an ongoing dialogue in my mind, to be honest.
Give us the
high level one. It's probably Muhammad Ali said some variation of God will never burden a man with something that he's not capable of taking. And I don't know what's coming. I always have this feeling that I'm not going to achieve the best of what I can get out of me until I've been to the bottom of the bottom. And I've been through a lot of hard times, and I usually bounce back a lot better. And I get a feeling that something is around the corner. I don't know where it's coming from. I feel like something is around the corner that's still going to take me to pieces. But at the same time, as much as you don't want to face hardships, whenever they come upon me, as much as you can feel difficult at certain points, when I'm in my own, because I'm a person who's a bit like you. I don't generally open up to people. Now, a lot of times people will be like, somebody said to me before, he's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm cool. He's like, but you can't always be cool. And I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, I can manage my problems. Some of the stuff that's going on with other people, from my point of view, I put it in perspective as, in contrast, it's more difficult for them to take. So I'm like, I would rather be the person who they can talk to and help them through hard times than burden them with my hard times. So that's why I have a lot of times of solitude where I do my own stuff.
Can I interrupt there? So you know that sometimes when you tell people your problems, it alleviates their problems because then it gives a perspective because it then balances things out. Sometimes when I have a problem and someone then tells me their problem, I think my problem's not that deep. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know
it makes you see perspective.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be afraid to.
It's not that I'm afraid. It's not that I'm afraid.
I'm not saying I'm afraid of work.
Yeah, I have a different way of. For me, if you talk to somebody and you just ask them the questions and let them talk, that's just as easy a way to help them put it into perspective than me saying, because that's just me saying, well, don't worry, you've still got a problem, but my problem is bigger, so your problem isn't that bad. That's not really a way to help them. I try and get to the root cause of it, but mine is always, whatever is being thrown at me is being thrown at me because I'm meant to achieve something which requires me to go through this at this moment in time. And that tends to be my self-talk. So even if I'm feeling down in the dumps, I look myself in the mirror You get yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you say, look, whatever that battle is that I'm going for, I'm ready to go. I'm levered up. I'm ready to give you the right hook. Give me the uppercut, I'll get back up.
Yeah, I think mine is I think a combination of both of yours really. I think it comes with a bit of experience as well, and so my talk now is probably a lot different. I don't even think I had a talk before, if I'm honest, you know. But now I do have a talk in the sense that I realise that I'm blessed, and I always, when I have gone through hard times, I've always managed to come out of it, and I think to myself, I've got luck, like something lucky has happened, you know. If like there's been times where I've been running out of money, and then something's happened, and I've just got enough money to pay for what I needed, and like, that's happened in the past loads of times, and then loads of other things. So I think to myself, you know what, you are blessed, you've been through hard times, and to be honest, tomorrow's coming, and like you're saying, there's no point getting stressed over things that you can't control, because you can't control it. You're still gonna have to go through life the same way. So I just say, you know what, you're blessed, and you can get through whatever life has to throw at you. And I now start to talk to myself that I actually think that I'm capable of good things, like of great things. I actually believe that now. So I think to myself, great people go through hard times, don't they? Yeah. So it's going to come. And before, whereas I used to always say something like, why me? Why is this happening to me? And I think to myself, well, it's not just me. Stuff happens to everybody. Yeah. And you need to get through it.
You step up.
Yeah. Right? And then, so now, like what you said, I'm now aware that there's going to be more hard times that are going to come around the corner. And I'm now mentally prepared for it. When that comes, I can deal with it. Whereas before, I was probably quite closed off. And then when it came, it just felt like, that's hit me quite hard. But now,
I think mine's a bit. My own goal on mine though is, so I posted a picture on my Snapchat during the week, because there's a moment in the Avengers which always it's funny. You shouldn't relate to it, right? But it's when the Hulk is there and he's Bruce Banner still, and they're like, now might be a good time to get angry. It's like, you want to know my secret, Cap? I'm always angry. Yeah. And like, and I don't mean I'm always angry. I don't want to say it like that. But I feel like more times than not, I'm like a vehicle of managed aggression that I focus in the right way. So when I'm too calm, I usually get too comfortable, and when I'm too comfortable, I'm not pushing at the best of my ability, and that comes in work, that comes in the gym, that comes in whatever I'm doing, right? So as much as, because when you speak to me, you know, when people speak to me, I like to think I'm a good listener, so I'm a good person who can be receptive. If someone's got problems, they know they can come to me. But then at the same time, when you see me in the gym, you probably wouldn't want to come that near me. But if you came and spoke, right, so if you come and speak to me in the gym, instantly, I'll speak to you, I'll be like, yeah, I'm cool. But if I'm not speaking to you and I'm just working out, I'll probably look like, don't come anywhere near me. Because, again, I'm focusing my aggression. I was listening to, I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger's one on Tim Ferriss, right? And where he was talking about meditation, and he was like, I kind of use my workout as a part of my meditation. And he's like, when I'm doing a bicep curl, I'm in the bicep. When I'm doing bench press, I'm in my pectoral muscle. And ever since I listened to that, when I train, so I've switched up my training for a lot of, I'm trying to work out different ways to stay more focused. So now, what I've done is, I listen, because I think you said before, you listen to podcasts in the gym. I can't. I have a very set, I listen to about 4 songs in the gym on repeat. Just 4. Same playlist all the time. Don't need to get
4
bored
songs?
of them. Yeah, don't need to get bored of them. Right. Don't need, so I listen to, where's my playlist? Because I forgot who the artist is.
I need some variety. I need some variety in the gym, you know. So I listened to a podcast once, but I can't do it again. I was in the gym today and I had some house on, some black coffee.
See, I don't even. So I've got Good Life, Fast and Furious 8. I've got Sia, Alive, Chandelier, Biffy Boost, and Roll Deep when I'm here. And I know that sounds like a weird variation. I don't even listen to them when I'm necessarily at home, but I listen to that. And what it is because they all. So I think there's Me, Myself, and I on there as well. Not the Beyonce one. Who's the one who sings that? Who's the artist who does that? Yes, G-Eazy again. But they've got a certain beat where my mind can switch off. I'm not paying attention to any lyric. It fits in with my routine. Like Good Life, the thing is, when the chorus drops in, that works in with my set, and then the rest break is when they do the verse, and then it works in my set. They all work perfectly towards me. And now when I'm in the gym, when I'm doing a bicep curl, I used to hate arms. Now, every muscle group is the same. I'm fully in the muscle when I'm doing it. Which means if you come here, if you look at me from the outside, I'm gonna look like don't go at this guy. And it's not that, I'm just in pure focus mode. And when I get the best out of my work is when I'm in the most high stress kind of chaotic environment where it's not necessarily that I'm aggressive in there, it's that the chaos of the situation calls for me to be channeled. So everybody else who's running around like getting stressed is when I soak it all up and then I can focus it. Again, if it's too calm, then I never get the best out of me. It's a weird thing, and it's again when we've spoken about finding that balance in the middle. It's yes, you can be calm, and then everybody's easy for you to come around. And you don't want to be too aggressive because then nobody wants to come near you. But it's finding that balance in the middle of my calmness helps me channel the aggression in the right manner.
Yeah.
What did you take on?
Huh?
I think you were going to say something.
No, I was going to say no. I was thinking like I'm different because when I go to the gym, I bounce off the energy in the room. So if the energy in the room is up, then I feel up. Like yesterday I was in the gym with Edja and I was saying to Edja like, there's no energy here. And she was like, you're supposed to bring the energy to the gym. And I was like, well, everyone is dead. Like literally, everyone looks like they're dead and there's no energy here. And I'm pushing there and I'm looking around and there's literally no energy. I can be in a room by myself and bring in energy. But when other people in the room are dead, it literally like takes my energy away from me. So my playlist in the gym is straight hip hop. It's hip hop and slow jams. If I'm doing legs, it's gonna be slow jams because it allows me to breathe. So like a bit of Jodeci, all that, a bit of R. Kelly. Ain't nothing wrong.
See, when I do my legs, I'm just the only thing disturbing about my legs at the moment is I have to obviously when I go to a certain way I have to strap them up. Yeah. Don't like when I strap them up because part of me focusing fully on the exercise I'm doing is I watch the muscle. So when I'm doing a bicep, I watch the muscle. Yeah. I watch the muscle when I'm doing chest to make sure I'm doing the rep exactly as I'm supposed to do it. Yeah. So when I'm doing squats, when I go up to like a 120, I don't have to have the straps on, which means I can watch the muscle as I'm going down. But then I flip my focus, so if I put my straps on, I know on the bar or on the rack, I need to get down to like the bottom rung. I take all the safety bars out of it. I need to get down to the bottom rung to get it done properly. And all I do when I'm focusing down is down and hit that bottom rung. And if you come up before that, that's like that don't count.
That don't count.
That's not a number. That's not it. The rep that doesn't count. I just find something to focus on, so I don't actually care about the energy in the room at all. I mean, some guy tried to speak to me the other day. I think some girl walked past or something afterwards, and she walked past. He's like, "Did you not see it?" He's like, "I was trying to tell you about her before," and I don't know the guy. We'd only just started speaking. So I was trying to tell you about her before, but I got my headphones on. I'm like, unless you physically shake me out of her, I could be in a full gym. I could be in an empty gym. As far as I'm concerned, it's just me and a weight.
To be honest, I think myself. Well, I think that when I'm in the gym, I faff around too much on my phone, too much looking around and all of that. So these last 3 days when I've been going gym, I've been a lot more focused and I felt that it's been a lot better workout.
I think it's a bit of a flow state into because I noticed there are a couple of times when I've picked my phone out and it's like I put it as a version of I'm in the Enterprise going at warp speed, and when you're in warp speed you're in there in that like little channel, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I will feel if something has just knocked me out of it. So if I'm on my phone, I'm like, no, I just fell out of it. And it's almost like I have to take a second, use the music to fall back into the zone, and then boom.
But you know, with Ben, he has small rests in between sets. Yeah. I need more.
What are you about to say? That's small waist.
No, I see your waist. They're not small. But you have minimal rest. Yeah. So there isn't really time for you to really go on your phone because you're always working. And that's what I need to try and integrate into mine because I need longer rests, but I need to just try and work on it.
It depends on what I'm working on. It depends on my mindset. Like, if I'm in I go to gym at the workout quite a lot, and that means I've got to fit an hour and a half workout in 45 minutes, which means that it's actually better for me because I go in there, bang, get it out of the gym. And it's like, do legs, do squats, things I have to start myself up for normally, I haven't got time to start myself up for. I just go bang, low, heavier weights go low, and I think, it's done. I don't even think about it. When I'm in the gym in Pure on weekends, I'm like, okay, it's legs. Got to start myself up. It's legs now, I've got to go heavy. And then I'm like on the phone, like, am I ready? Am I psyched up? And because I know I've got as much time as I want. Yeah. When I've got 45 minutes, I've got to fit like an hour and a half workout in 45 minutes. I'm just focused. I don't even think about it. I'm just going, bang, I'm just going to do my workout. Everything that I need to do. If you're wasting my time, I'm not going to be polite to you. I'm saying, are you on the weight? No, not on the weight. Get on the weight. I need to do jiu-jitsu.
That's why I do my legs on a Saturday, because I don't like. It's the only one where I need to have certain apparatus available, so I do it on a Saturday morning when it's free. Plus, I don't run that much on a Saturday, so it's better for me. But because I don't do bench press, for example, on my chest. I haven't done bench press in my routine for maybe 3 years now, because the bench is always packed up full of people. Yeah. Whereas to me, I can just do my dumbbell. And the stupid thing is and the beauty of having a small break is I will do. And nowadays, I probably now at this moment in time when I'm getting lost in the zone, I'm training for about an hour and 15 minutes. In an hour and 15 minutes, I will do more than most people will do in 2 hours. Yeah. I get through my rep count gets. I think I had a rep count of about 750.
I've been in the gym with you. I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up. He's just like, and he is like proper in the zone.
I do that sometimes. I'm like, I do that thing when I finish the weight. And I go, like it's just breathing. But I set myself up, like, I've done this thing when I can't gym. People look at me like, what are you doing? It's like, because I feel the battle between me and the weights.
If you do that,
I do that. I go like that, and people don't.
It's when you told me before, though. Don't let the weight boy you.
Yeah. It's like
that's so brilliant.
Don't let the weight boy you, man.
In my head, it's me with the weights. 50 kg dumbbell press. If I see idiots pick up the weights and they start doing it, and they're up there back into the muscles, I do it properly. But also, I know people are looking at me or watching me. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not letting this weight break me. I'm not letting this weight defeat me. I'm going to defeat the weight. I'm going to do it properly, and I'm going to get my workout out.
That's because you can do the weight, though.
No, but it's because it's good.
But even if you do a weight of certain points, what annoys me, what really gets on my goat when it comes to the gym is people who drop their weights. Yeah. Because there is, so to be clear, it's about the control from the moment you pick up the weight to the moment you stop it. Yeah. And actually, and you know what? This actually focuses on something else that I think transposes out of life. So it comes down to excellence for me is something that you can't switch. It's habitual. Yeah. So either be on point, 150% with everything you do, or be 75% at everything you do. But don't think you can be 75% some of the time and 150 another part of the time. Just doesn't work. So when I'm in the gym, it's the same as when I'm working. Everything is hit that point of perfection. Find how I get into that flow state. When I'm trying to write, what does it take for me to fall into the zone? So when I'm writing, my music playlist is completely different. It's all kind of orchestral soundtrack music, because no talking, no nothing. I lock into my zone on that, right? So it's finding that state of perfection where I can fall into flow. Me, when you're going in the gym and you're doing things like grunting for the sake of grunting, and you're walking around, I thought to myself the other day, there are people who are walking around and they're walking around like they're henching. I'm like, if you need to walk around like you're hench, you're not. Right? It's no do it. Either you are and it just comes across, or you're not, and deal with it and get bigger. And dropping weights is one of those. When I'm doing a rep, I'll do it perfectly. Otherwise, don't do it at all. Yeah. Like, it's one of those, I've had a couple of sessions before where I've turned up at the gym. I had an arm session maybe 2 months ago. Like, it doesn't happen often. But I got in there and I was like, that was a rubbish session. So I went back and I had to do it again on the Saturday, because I was like, that was a rubbish session. I mean, it's difficult for me. I train like every day, so I have to redo a session. It's not good. But it's one of those. Either be practice excellence in everything you do, or doing nothing.
I think that whole dropping the weight thing is just an attention-seeking thing.
Yeah, but it's part of an attention, but it is a lack of, you're not going for perfection. Yeah. Also, it is an attention thing, but you should. One of these times they're going to hit you.
I went in the gym yesterday, and there was a guy finishing his set. He was doing curls on the EZ bar, and he literally was just like, he finished it, and he was just like, and I was thinking, why don't you just put the weight down? Yeah. But that was just for me, that was just an attention-seeking.
It's also dangerous. I've had a go with the guys doing dropping the weights. Yeah. They're doing 25 kg, and they're just doing chest press, and then they dropped it. And then I'm like, why? I said, if you can't pick up the weight, if you can't pick it up and put it down properly, don't use it. Because if you dropped it, if it landed on me, I wouldn't hear sorry. And it's a veiled threat. If that drops on me, I'm not going to hear sorry, because you're being stupid.
I see people do it. I see some guys finish and they've got the weight hit and they just drop it.
They drop it.
I'm like, that's even worse than when you drop it when you're. Because I don't like guys who are on chest press and they drop it there. I'm like, even if they've got a spot and they just drop it, and I'm like, what's wrong? Because the weights will bounce everywhere. But I'm like, it's that. What are you about? All that tells me is, if I see people who are dropping weights in the gym, I can guarantee whatever you do, outside of the gym, whatever your profession is, whatever your career is, I bet I can spend a day with you and I will come out of that and find that you do not practice perfection in that, and you do not pay attention to detail. Because all of that is attention to detail, and it's trying to strive to be the best in whatever you're doing. And I guarantee you, the way people act in the gym, it sounds ridiculous, it's a very good transpose of what they're like outside of it.
You mean that's the same way?
It's the only place. Do you know why I find solitude in it? It's the only place where you can't lie. Like, unless you're juicing, right?
There's a lot of juices.
Yeah, but that's fine, that's cheating. The gym doesn't lie. The gym doesn't lie. You get out of it what you put in.
There's a lot of juices.
Where you going next week?
Body Power Expo in NEC.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fitness exhibition.
And why are you going there?
Because it's one of the things on my bucket list I want to do. Because it's like, my bucket list isn't very inspiring, it's just very simple. But it's one of those things that I always wanted to go to because of all my other fitness friends go to it. And there was every year that previously I was studying, so in May I couldn't go because my exams were in June. My exams were in June, so I couldn't really go. This year I was like, and last year I couldn't go because of personal reasons. But this year I can go. So I said to my girlfriend, well, you're going to start doing this personal training and stuff, so you might as well go. So we'll go and see how
So it's just you and her going,
yeah. But I got, like, it's me and her going, but a lot of my friends are going to go as well. So, but it's like a lot of people, but it's going to be really busy, but you should bump into a few people. And one of my friends, she's giving a talk there, which is be different. She's a personal trainer. So she's giving a talk there, and her boyfriend does CrossFit. And he's really like fit. He can do all those stuff that, you know, when you see people like clean and jerk and squat all the way down, and he's like, But it'll be interesting because I'm used to being the biggest person in the room or being one of the biggest people in the room, and I'm going to go in there knowing that this time I'm going to be the smallest one.
Yeah, you said to me, "Oh, you're accomplice." I'm like, I'm not. I haven't made it up to that level yet.
You know what I saw this week as well? I think it was like the last couple of days that there was Tough Mudder on.
Yeah, there's one in London on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's one in the Thames. It's really weird because they're coming into the city now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
You think is it the same sort of circuit that you guys would have done?
They move them around. It's still not time. I think next year I'm going to do Europe stuff as well because they do it in the UK. I feel like
because people, UK Europe.
I wanted to do the world stuff as well, but it's only 12 hours of Europe stuff as well. So the world stuff as well is 24 hours.
12 hours.
Well, it's not that because I want to do it because everybody's like, "What are you doing? Are you running a marathon or something?" Because I feel like I shouldn't give up the fact that because I think I'll be good at it. So I was listening to Amelia Boone's podcast the other day. So she's the only woman who's won like 3 times Tough Mudder. And she was talking about the first time they done World's Toughest Mudder. She was like 1,200 people starting. She's like 12 people finished. She finished, and one of the times where she won for women, she finished second overall behind men and women. She finished second overall.
What's her name?
Amelia Boone.
Boone.
Her podcast with Tim Ferriss is good, but she's like a lawyer as well. It's not like she does ultra marathons on the side. But the reason I wanted to do World Stuff as Mudder because 24 hours, I want to see just how far I can go, just what breaking point is. Running 12 hours of doing Tough Mudder, I think I can do that. I've got a unique setup of because of the way I train. Like I saw a guy yesterday. He's like, "How long have you been training for?" I'm like, "I've been training for 12 years." Like, because I was explaining to him, I've got a guy came up to me like last week. He was like, "How long have you been training for?" I was like, 11, 12 years now. Just because at the time I always say 10 years, and one of those I think. No, I've been saying 10 years for like the last 5 years. I was like, I've been training for like 12 years. It's like your body shape is like spot on because I've got a good balance on my back versus my shoulder. But I'm not necessarily the biggest guy in the world, but my balance and definition is there because I have a unique set of my running versus my weights. So for instance,
you don't usually get that in that combination. People are runners.
So when I tell people I can run 18 miles just just feel like going out for a run and I run 18 miles, they assume you can't lift. And when people see you lift, they assume you can't run. So when I went and did white collar boxing before, obviously we've been in the gym and then we had to do a bleed test after about 3 weeks. And one of the guys like, and I got to be good friends with him before, and he's like, "Do you know what? That first week when we were going out for a bleed test, there were a couple of us who had seen you, and we were like, oh, look at this guy, like he's musty." Because when I've obviously got a vest on, I look more than fine. Like, look at this guy, he's musty. We'll see what he's made of now. We stopped the bleep test because I was the only one still running. So he was like, we weren't expecting that. So I meet this fitness in the middle. It's like when I did Tough Mudder with you, and I was like, whatever happens, I know it's not timed, and I'll help you guys through because I understand my cardio training is different. I said, but do not help me on anything.
Yeah.
And so he goes, what? Not even the 12-foot walls? I was like, don't help me on nothing. So we were running up the hill, and he's like, here we go then, go on then, Ben. I was like, shh.
Over. I looked at it, he went over because he went, alright, there you go, then. And then he just runs up and jumps in. I was like,
and there's 3 of them, and I went and done 3 of them, and then I went back to help them.
I ran at it, and I was like, I jumped up, and then I thought, I help other people over. I can't do it. But and like, bear in mind, he's shorter than me, and the wall's massive, and he looks at it and goes, and jumps over it. Ping, ping. No one else was doing that. No one else was doing that. Everyone else was like sitting there getting helped over. No one else was doing that.
But that's what I mean about, I feel like you only get the best out of yourself when you realise how far you can go. Because even when we did the, so there's one point in them where you have to pick up a log and you have to run around a little circuit bar. And obviously they've got logs that are cut from like here, and then they've got a rare few anomalies in there which are like this, right? So I'm looking around, everybody's picking up these small ones, there it is. Go pick up the biggest one, like, because I'm not interested in knowing that I know I can lift a small one. I'm interested in knowing if I can lift the biggest ones.
I don't care. I pick the smallest one. even when we had to do that, carry like the guy across for half a mile, and then they swapped places. Yeah, the guy carried me for half a mile. I was like, sorry, man, I can't do it for you.
No way.
He picked me up, he carried me. And I went, oh yeah, I can't do it.
And you've just been carried as well. Lazy bastard.
That's why that's when I got off the guy, and then he was shouting at me, and no person goes, hey, turn around thinking that he's shouting at his missus.
Yeah, people were starting to get a bit vexed because I was shouting, I was angry. Right? I was like, come on, from about a mile in, he's cramping up. He said to me, I was like, I wouldn't have made it through if you weren't.
Yeah, the last one was like
11
miles, the last thing before the limit, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I quit. And he goes, it's over there, it's over there. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. And then he's like, no, you've got to do it. And then like, so we did the big thing we ran up in, and we're like, how's Joe going to do it? So then Joel does it, like, with one arm, and then the last bit, I'm like, I can't do this, like, the electric wire stuff. So then, I think Ben and Joe run through it, and it goes to the side, yeah, and the girl runs through it, and I just run through it, and I don't get electrocuted. All I hear Joe go,
I remember looking at that electric, that was probably something that was scaring me the most.
Only thing I ever worry about with that is if it hits you in the eye. It's the only part I care about. I don't care about the rest, and it does hurt. It's like a kick, man. It does hurt, but the only thing I think about is when you're low. But nobody has ever died from actually doing that. We're going through that in the race. But I just I want to do that, and I want to do it because it's a race as well. Normal Tough Mudder is not a race, it's just about you getting it through. And I'm like, I don't need to know I can do obstacles in 12 miles. I know I can do that. Like when I did, go on.
No, I was just going to ask you a question. What's boxing fitness like to running fitness? Obviously it's different, but did you think that because you was able to run, did that help you?
Oh yeah, undoubtedly. So boxing fitness is
because obviously you're
it's high intensity. Yeah. It's high intensity. It's high intensity and endurance. Now, you've said before, my training, I only take small breaks. So I break for 30 seconds in between. That's as legs because I've got to do straps and stuff. It's long, it's like 2 minutes. But then I have to break 30 seconds in there, and then I run. But my running pace is fast. Like you were saying, he was like, he's talking to me. He's like, you run to the gym, and I was like, yeah. He's like, how long does it take you? I'm like 12 minutes. I know that from when I go in the morning before work. He's like, that's quite. I'm like, it's 1.4 miles. He's like, that's quite fast pace. I'm like, no. I got out for a run last week. I can do a 5-minute 40 mile.
Yeah, like he runs a mile in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I haven't trained myself to do that. I want to get on a track because I want to see if I can do the 4-minute mile. I just need to know what I'm capable of. So in response to your question, the thing that I found that actually caught me out that I didn't expect in boxing was when I was going up against a guy. He was a bit smaller than me, like muscular wise. So his trainer basically said, look, you can't afford to get hit by him, so get up close on it. And one of the guys from the outside, he looked like you were blowing yourself out. I was like, nah, fitness-wise, I was fine. But he spent so long on me, and every time you got to push him off and get him, your legs are burning. And I have never, that's the only part I had never factored in, because when you're sparring, you don't even have that. Yeah. And when you spend 3 minutes just pushing somebody away, all of that, all of a sudden I was like, right, in hindsight, I should have given myself a couple of days rest before that. Obviously, me being me, I was in the gym up until the day that I was doing it. But that was the only thing that I would say. You overlook some of the additional attributes, and obviously all your power comes from your legs. So if you you've got strong legs and a strong core through, when you chuck a throw, it comes all the way from your heel all the way up there and then transposes through your right hook. So the cardio it's about intensity, and that's what you do a high intensity training for. Would be good. But again, that was another one. Somebody was like, you should have been like a drill instructor or something. He's like, I thought of doing that white collar boxing. I didn't know what it was at the time. Then I saw it, I was like, let me go to the water side. And it's good for me as well. Like, I'm thinking of getting a boxer bag somewhere or one of the boxing stand-up ones, just because it's good for me to channel my aggression.
I punched the one at work and it doesn't stand up. We've got this like stand, boxing stand, and every time I punch it, it flips back, and I'm like, isn't it supposed to stand? And I'm like, right, so I need time to hold it while I punch it, and that defeats the purpose. I've done like sparring with kickboxing. I did like 3 minutes, and I was just dripping. I came out, I was like, I've been kicking it, and he was kicking me as well. Like, he's supposed to be like taking it easy on me because I'm a novice. But he kept kicking me, and he's like, no, you're right. He goes, he kicks me, and then he goes, no, you're fine. I was like, I don't feel fine. He punched me like flat in my temple. Like, he said, put your guard up, yeah, and I didn't put my guard up, and he hit me, and then he goes, don't worry, you're fine, you're fine. Then he kicked. He did a roundhouse kick. He showed me something. He goes, he did a roundhouse kick, and his leg just went past my like that, whoosh. And I was like, wow, if you kicked me, yeah, you would have knocked me out straight up. And there's this Polish guy with like a scar across his eye like that, and a claw across his neck like that. So he's probably in a few fights. And he was sparring with me, and it's great for cardio. But the worst thing I did was that I did legs before I did the cardio, before the kickboxing. And that same night I went to Revolutions in Clapham. I walked up the stairs, and what I felt was there burn with a slight hernia because I hadn't stretched. So I'd done legs, done kickboxing, and I thought, yeah, I'm fine. I wasn't fine. Both my groins had gone, and the tail was there.
See, that's it. You got to be careful. Now, I think kickboxing, boxing, anything like that is great for fitness. You need to determine what you want out of it before you do it. So if you want to go and do it just for fitness, do like one of the boxer side of things or something. Because you learn a lot about a person and about yourself the first time you get hit. Yeah. Either I like this, or oh my god, I just got hit and I do not like this at all. Yeah. So I went in the first round of sparring. Literally, I picked up a pair of gloves maybe 2 weeks before. But because I was built, out of the people in the gym, I looked like I've got a build of like a boxer. Yeah. So this guy who's been boxing for like a few years now, he's like, will you spar with me? So and it's not about how hard you can throw a punch, it's about how well you can block a punch, right? Yeah. And I'm not familiar with this. So we come out of the first 3 rounds of sparring, like, people got a guy that I know is coming up to me, he's like, you alright? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I've got blood all over the face, all over. I look at my gloves there, and obviously because I was sweating, it's got worse, not like it's dripped off, it's dripping everywhere. And I'm like, I feel fine, but that's when you know you're good to go, because I was like, yeah, I can do this, let's go again. Like, otherwise you're like, you see some people when they're sheepless in that, and once they've been hit, they're so scared of being hit that it's not like they're naturally great at defensive. They're too scared to do anything, and then they're just ready there for the pickings. Like,
Another old Russian guy was watching us, and he was going, you know, right, that when you get punched, look at it, because when he was throwing punches at me, I was doing that, because I didn't want to get hit, and then he goes, you have to stand there and look at it, so when it's coming to you, you know what to do. Then he threw a punch and hit me, and I stood there like, it's not really right. then like, I have to learn, so then I'm ducking and diving, and I'm watching, so all now, I'm looking at his head movement. But then his head movement threw me off, because his head movement was so much better than mine. Just bam, 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 hit me. I was like, I'm fine, because I got pride, isn't it? So I'm fine, carry on. It's that thing, if you don't want to get hit, it's not for you.
It's ready to go to work. It's another one of those that tells you a lot about what people do in physical exercise. For me, always tells me a lot about what, and that's not saying it's the only definition of people, but the way they go at it tells you a lot about what they're like outside of it. So like when I did that race up Mount Snowdon and I came, so everybody's like, where'd you come? I was like, 39th. And they were like, oh, that's good. Out of how many people? I said, I think about 1,500 people. And they were like, what? That's brilliant. They're like, you don't look happy. I'm like, 38 people came in front of me. And they were like, and I explained it to them, like, what was it? And I think it was, what is it, 20 kilometres or something. I've never been up a mountain before. And the first time you're going up a mountain is running up a mountain. Boy, that takes you out of it. But then running down a mountain takes you out of it as well.
Hill was bad enough, so that must be crazy.
But I liked it because, again, it was how much, what have I got in the tank? I just want to know, is there something out there that will get me to say, give up and quit?
Yeah.
I'd like to think there's not, but that's why I want to do a World's Toughest Mudder. Can I go for 24 hours? Fine, even if I can't win it, which I want to set out to do anyway, but can I keep doing that circuit for 24 hours? Can I get round there and keep up with some of the big guys at the top?
I think you should do it. Get a GoPro, put it on YouTube, and put it as a series. And we'll think of a charity to get Ben sponsored under. And then all of the people that are watching our videos and on our Instagram can sponsor you and see.
We'll do it. I think it's in the middle. I think we missed it because it's only just come up, so it'll be this time kind of next year. By the time I knew that they did it in the UK, it was too late for me to. I could have done it because my natural training would have allowed me to do it, but I was like, for that, I'll strip off everything and I want to be able to train. And
that's
at
the
it.
Moment, you want to be able to train for it. And
I'm carrying weight at the moment. I was talking to you, I was like, we're still. Oh man. Balkan season's over.
Well, ripping season now, summertime now.
I'll lose the weight. I don't worry about that sort of stuff.
I'm never worried about losing that. It's because my schedule, all I need to do is quickly tweak my diet.
I did hardly any cardio throughout the whole winter. I did a few height sessions with Edger just to make her do cardio, but I've hardly done any cardio throughout the winter time. So all I do is start running again, start sprinting again, and I'm back to being ripped.
You two are good, man.
And then have no belly.
I've got a little while to get to you lot's level, boy.
But 12 years. 12 years.
14 years.
14 years. I mean, and this is why when I'm talking to people, I'm like, I could be bigger, but I said for me, it doesn't make any sense to be bigger because I will notice it. I'll not.
You are actually big.
You are hench. You are hench.
But
you got boobs.
Yeah, boobs. But what I mean is, I can't get any bigger than this because then I'm becoming mobile, so I'll lose my mixture of mobility. But when I'm talking to a guy, and I said to him yesterday, he was like, now it makes sense about why you've got that balance. I'm like, yeah, you're like rocking up after a year of being like, why in shape? Yeah. And that's why people end up taking the cheap route because they've got no patience. Again, that tells you something about somebody outside. When you see somebody in good shape and you say, how long did that take you? And they say 6 months, you're cheating. I know you're cheating, and I can see your water retention in there as well. You can tell when someone's cheating, right? Which means they're all about taking shortcuts. When you see somebody who's like, yeah, I've done this, and you can tell when someone's built themselves up naturally, and they say, yeah, I've done this. I was talking to him, it was like, this is 12 years of most of those 5 days in the gym a week. Yeah. Half of those, 6 days in the gym, and the other half, and then there'll be some parts in there where I've probably been like every day of the week, right? But that's discipline, routine, repetition.
You think gym was life? It was life to me at one point. And I had to win myself off it, but it was life. I was there like 5 days a week, and I was there for like three to 4 hours, like 2 hours training and 2 hours training. But
I just don't understand the point of cheating because you should be able to enjoy the process.
No, it depends on how you want to get there.
But I'm not just talking about in the gym. I'm talking about in anything. You
know
what I mean? But why would you not want to enjoy the process so that when you get to the end, you can look back and be like, you know what? I did this, and I don't see how you can feel accomplished if you've cheated.
I think the thing is there's cheating and there's shortcuts. Somebody that had a good, because cheating I disagree with. Shortcuts I get. Somebody made a good. I can't remember. It was on some podcast, maybe a TED talk, and he was like, you always notice. And I think actually he referred to down in Highbury, and you've got the park, and it's got the natural route around it, right? You know when you walk around somewhere and you see across the grass there's the beaten off path, which is no longer a grass, because nobody don't want to go that way. Yeah. They want to take the shortcut, right? So I get taking shortcuts and looking for ways to take hacks. But cheating, I just never get, because you do steal away from the natural feeling of accomplishment if you've cheated your way to get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just can't understand it. I know that if I've been taking stuff and juicing and then I'm hench and people go, your body looks, I'll be like, in deep down I'll be thinking, I didn't really work for this.
Nah, but you know as well. The thing is,
I didn't really work for this.
Everybody knows. Like, it's rare that people will juice up just to get a little bit. They won't juice up to get like Josh's size, right? They'll do it to get super big. And the thing is, you can see it. You can see it in them. I don't know. I can personally see it in them. You can see where their water retention is being held. You can see everything about their side. You can see the ones who are unnatural. You get all the guys that come in and they've got really spotty shoulders. And I'm not talking about that you naturally get as part of growing up. I'm talking about that kind that only comes, that real hard nastiness that only comes from people juicing. I'm like,
serious.
So look, you're looking at yourself in the gym as if you're and I'm like, I feel 10 times better than you because I know everything. I remember I was on, I think I was on holiday somewhere before, And a girl come up to me, she goes, well, obviously you're on steroids, aren't you? I'm like, why? She's like, you're not getting a chest like that without it. I had to spend ages there in the conversation. I'm like, I'm comfortable with the fact that I've never had any form. Sorry.
I was out because I was injured, and I went for the first time and did chest, and my chest still hurting. That actually really just did that, you know. I could brave it, but that hurt.
No, I hear you, because when I went to Anapa, all the Essex girls were going, you're on roids. I was like, no, you're on roids. I was like, no.
Well, it's the chest that does it, and the thing is, I've got, when I'm working out, I'm very vascular, so around my shoulders, I've got a vein that comes out right now, and I've looked at myself before in the mirror and thought, I know some people are looking at me, because I look focused as well, I look charged, like, I'm thinking, I know some people are making judgments on me here.
Each their own.
But the good thing is that if anybody that knows you, they know what you're about.
As long as you know yourself, you're
Yeah,
not cheating,
yeah,
that's
that's
all that matters. It's if you're happy with it. I have nothing against you that take steroids. If you take steroids and you work really hard and you get where you want to get to, it's all about what you want to achieve. What I don't like is when you say you're natural and you're not, and you know you're not natural, and you tell other people that they can be like you and they can't be like you. It's the same thing when you see all these fitness models that, like, if they didn't have fake boobs, you wouldn't find them attractive, but because they've got fake boobs, it gives them the shape that they've got. They've still got curves, and they've taken liposuction on their stomach as well. So you think that if you work out like they work out, you're going to get the same doctors. Then that's not going to happen.
It's just one of those things, principles.
Yeah.
I agree with. I can accept people with integrity and honesty, right? Yeah. So when I'm speaking to a guy, and he's open and honest, he's like, yeah, I got up to this size, he's like, I was on an anabolic steroid. And it was a bit weird for me because people don't often say that to you, but at the same time, I don't agree with it. I have respect for him saying, yeah, I got up to this size, but I didn't do it by myself. Versus the people who are like, all natural, and you're like, I know you're not. And I'm cool. Everybody each to their own, but just be honest about it.
Yeah.
When you're bodybuilding, you have to take stuff, isn't it?
You don't. You
can
take. You don't have to take gear, but you will take forms of supplements.
Yeah.
Anabolic steroids are never going to be accepted.
If you're skinny, it's very, very hard to put the muscle mass on without taking a weight gainer.
Yeah.
But they're all natural supplements.
That's what I was going to say.
Not natural, but they're all supplements.
I mean that because I've always thought, when you see the bodybuilders and they're doing they're doing all that stuff. I always thought that those people, to get like that, they've had to take some sort of steroids and stuff.
That's not.
You can get natural builders, don't they? They can work out and they can get big. But to get like Ronnie Coleman big or Arnold Schwarzenegger big, it's really difficult. Yeah. And Schwarzenegger admits to it, says I took steroids. He's one of the people that admits to saying I took steroids. But I just thought people knew what steroids did. It wasn't like it was banned or anything. It was just that everyone was doing it, and now it's like.
But you can also tell about him is that he can't have overexposed himself to it because people who do, you get lost in a routine where they have to continually do it because and you can only have usually 3 months on and 3 months off. But then if you stop, it's all just going to turn into weight or you'll completely change. Yeah. So if somebody has maintained their weight over a course of time, then there can only be so much that they can have put themselves through it. I mean, they would have got themselves hooked on it.
Okay. So a lot of that would have been down to just natural training as well.
Yeah, but when you spend 4 or 5 hours a day in the gym, not in one stint, you break it up.
Yeah. Also, if you watch, what's that film? Is it
Pumping Iron?
Pumping Iron. That film. If you watch that film, you can see that he covers the extra yards than what other people do.
I've never watched.
He's a perfectionist though. You see one of the ones where he's like, he boys off the guy. Yeah. There's some small guy and he's trying to teach him how to pose, and he's like, what little guys often do is they hide within themselves. He's like, when you're doing the pose, do the pose out there when you're doing that. He's like, don't be inside yourself. But he mugs the guy up. He's like, often with small guys.
That's the thing. He's exceptional. Although people take steroids, but himself is exceptional. To win it how many times? He won it so many times. Yeah. He's the measuring stick that everyone goes against him.
Yeah. Arnold is a serious guy, man.
But that was because one of the ones that we did put up is it's interesting when you said gym is life, right? And because we were talking about before when we've had that ongoing conversation about kind of that work-life balance piece. And I was talking to somebody the other day. I've had this conversation a lot of times with people, and I was like, I don't believe in the concept of work-life balance. I'm like, it's all about flexible working because I've said to somebody, what work-life balance is for you isn't necessarily going to be the same for me. So when I've said to somebody before, I'm like, Your work-life balance is you need to make space for your family and stuff outside of work. My balance is I don't need to. So I can work because that's what I'm choosing to do. Like, that's flexible working for me, allowing me to do that with not any problems, right? Yeah. And also, when I think on a deeper level about it, I'm like, when we're speaking about Jim's life, the reason that, when we spoke about this before, little tendencies of people, whatever they're successful in, and it's really interesting when you listen to like a show like Tim Ferriss, because he doesn't just go for people who have been successful in business. So he talks about when he's interviewed Jamie Foxx, or when he's done like Amelia Boone, when she does the ultra racing, or he does when he interviewed Sam Harris, or he interviewed Carol Fussman, for example, who writes a story, who writes a page on Esquire. And I was like, these people, for them, it's not work. It's not work. It's life. Yeah. It is their life. They've found that one thing that just works for them so effortlessly that there's no work-life balance. There's just life. Yeah. Like, and I don't think people would take. Again, we've spoken about it before, but it's interesting. One of those where when you're trying to think about what is it that really you want to pursue, what would stop you from having to differentiate between a work-life balance? Because a lot. Well, it should work. Yeah. But it shouldn't be that, right? I've often thought about that before because I've thought to myself, if I won the lottery, what would I do with it? Would I give up working, or would I say... So for me right now, it's difficult for you to say what you would do, but I feel like if I won the lottery, my gut feeling is I would call you guys up and be like, right guys, we're about to buy an office, we're about to go into full steam. Yeah. I'd like to, and I'm pretty confident that's what it would be. But for some people, they would just be like, don't ever need to work again. I don't even need to work again. But that's because they don't maybe there's not something that they're particularly passionate about that is career based, because they might say, well, actually my passion is I want to travel, so I'm going to take this, I'm just going to travel the world for forever.
But then Kardashians, their work is their life. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. Their work is their life. But that's a slightly different take. When you become a reality TV star, then it's easier for your work to become your life because your work is following your life.
Alright, so but they've got other things like fashion.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. So I get that. So a better example of that would be I'd talk about like a Kanye West. So Kanye West, and it's interesting when I listen to Jamie Foxx's interview with Tim Ferriss. He's like, this little stupid guy came in. He's like, you need to hear his fire. He's like, what's his name? Kanye West. It's mad when you hear all the people that he's heard that have gone through his studio. But he pursued music because he wanted to pursue music, and then he pursued fashion because he enjoys fashion. Just good. And I remember when he said that, I think he was being interviewed before, and he was like, why would I worry about later down the line? Today is the day to do whatever you want to do, right? But a lot of the times, and again, when we spoke about some people don't really know what they want to do, and it's difficult. You need to find a way to frame the question to get the right answer you want, right? And I know when like Gary Vee says, what would you do if you could just do it all the time? But I think a different take on that would be, what would you do? What is it that you could do that you would no longer consider work? So, for instance, a lot of people like to write. So, if you could be a writer, I'm not going to say it's easy, but at the same time, there's got a better entry now. Like, you don't need to have a publicist and stuff. You could do stuff on the web. So, you'd be like, do you know what? If I could write full time, then that wouldn't feel like work. But you can make money off it, right? If you wanted to do sports, if you wanted to be a coach, for example, say you wanted to be in football, but you're 30, it's not going to happen. But you could be a coach. Wouldn't feel like work. Right, it's one of those things, but I don't think people chase that down now.
So I was going to say, what I think differentiates work from passion and doing it is the ability to control. I think, like photography, I enjoy photography because I'm in control of what I shoot and how I shoot it. Even when someone says to me, "Can you do a shoot for me?" and I want it done for my models and I want it for my swimwear. As long as I have creative control of what I'm shooting, it's fun to me. Now, the person said to me, you can only shoot in a certain way and you shoot it this way, that can't work. Because if I don't have control, it's one of the reasons why people say to me, why don't you do weddings? Why don't you go and do weddings? I don't want to do weddings. For me, weddings become work because I'm not doing it because I want to do. I like to take pictures of people. I'm doing it because if someone told me that I have to take pictures of your wedding and I have to get the pictures, it starts becoming fun for me. It starts becoming more like work. It starts becoming things that I'm enjoying. It becomes more of a thing what I have to do because it's a work thing. But I have more creative control over it. Someone says to me, "Oh, you're going to do my wedding photos," but then I'm going to let you do it in your style. Then it becomes more like it's more of like you said, it's not work, it becomes more my passion. I'm in control of when I do it. When I go to the gym, I'm in control of how I work out and when I work out.
I think that's you though.
I
think that's you, because I know that because you've said it before in other things. I like control. It's an underlying thing, and that's cool. That's not a problem. But I think that's you personally. You're like, for me, I like chaos. I operate best in the high stress environments, but that's not going to work for some people. Really like anything that's stress is going to feel like work to me. Whereas actually for me, it's not. It's like, again, for me, it's channeled aggression. So I like something that drives me in that state. But again, that's not going to work for everybody. You need to work out what it is. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just saying before. I was speaking to my cousin in the week, and again, it just sort of came back to something that Charlemagne said in his book about, realizing when opportunities are there, they don't have a paycheck attached to it. And I was just talking to him because his passion is, video and all of that stuff, and that's what he's interested in. And when he's doing it, it's not work to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I take your point because I think that's you as well when you was talking about your thing. Because if he goes somewhere and he is being directed or whatever, he still enjoys it, and it's not really work to him. And I've just said for him to focus on that and then pursuing your passion, and then the money will come. But it's like what you're saying, the work-life balance type of thing. If you're doing something that you enjoy all of the time, it's not work anymore. Footballers don't think that they're going to work. Do you know what I mean? They're going to play football. It's something they've enjoyed doing as a kid, and that's what their life is.
And the thing is, so because it's easy to write off football as just being that's like the dream life. So one thing I think Steve Jobs said this before, is like when you can find something like that, it means you're passionate about it to a point where you don't find it interesting. But you have to find that because it's not easy. To make it to the top of whatever, it's not easy. So football, you really have to be passionate about it because it's not easy to go through your coaches who will shout you down and want perfection every time. And I know when you make it to the top, you're getting paid an extortionate amount of money to train for 2 hours a day and play 90 minutes a week. But to make it from schoolboy to that point through there, you go through drills, you have coaches who will absolutely rip to pieces out of you. And unless you've got that passion in order to say, I love the game, so nothing's going to hold me back from it. So it's a good example there, because I think it's an easy one to write off and just say sports stars. You can say, well, actually, but they're getting paid. But, and don't get me wrong, I think it's completely out of proportion how much they get paid. I don't disagree with that. But the work rate that they had to put in, the work and the effort they had to put in from being a beginner to being the top of their trade, that was when it was, right, do I really want to do this? Like your LeBron James and the rest of it. Like Steph Curry's, just literally free throws for 5-6 hours a day, same shot till it becomes natural, right? When he sees that, they just see the output, right? But you wouldn't do that unless you were passionate about playing basketball. If you just kind of liked it, then you just go and play with your friends for an hour and be like, I want to go and play computer now, right? So it's one of those. I think, and again, like a lot of people say, you need to seek out what that thing is that you can treat as just being life, because when the hard times hit, that's when you get through it. Otherwise, if you go into something where you work, when the hard times hit, you fall back into your comfort zone. That's why people reach a plateau in their careers and stuff, because they're like, I don't really like what I'm doing. This is paying the bills, therefore, I'm going to stop now. It's comfort. And I get that. It allows them to have what they call a work-life balance. But ultimately, you're only living for, I think Gary Vee says it well, he's like, if you're living for the weekends or your holidays, your shit is broken. I know he says stuff in a blunt manner, but I'm like, do you know what?
So true,
you can't argue with that point, right?
True.
So it's different between you've got to wake up on Monday morning and think, it's another chance to get it, and you got to wake up on a Saturday thinking, it's time to chill. It's that mentality. I always think if you're living for 2 days a week, something's not right.
I get lost in. Sometimes I get lost in weekends. So I don't know if I'm not doing stuff. I just don't know what to do with myself. Because I don't spend them going out. I mean, I don't nowadays. I don't go out. Like we had a wedding reception party last week, which wasn't really going out, but because they rented out the whole setting, I'm like, that constitutes me now. I've gone out. I'm not going to go out for another, and that will close me off now for the next few months. And when it gets to the weekends, I'm like, I get halfway through the day, and I was watching a video on my phone yesterday. I can't remember. It was I think I was watching a Muhammad Ali interview, and I was sitting there, I was thinking, I'm kind of at a loss when I don't have my work in front of me, and so that's why usually it gets to night. I was like, right, so I wrote like 2 articles last night, and I downloaded some software to edit some videos and stuff. I'm like, I feel at a loss if I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm cool doing that because it integrates with my life. Whereas some people need that, let me get to the weekend and just have a blah. I just want to sit on the sofa and do that. And that's cool, but then I'm sitting on the sofa and getting to a Sunday and being like, man, I've got to set the alarm. The alarm's going off at 4:45. When you tell people you wake up at, I think who was it? Again, it was a Media Boom podcast, and I think Tim Ferriss was like, yeah, I had to get up. I was interviewing people and they get up at like 4 o'clock. And he's like, I knew there was something weird about you because you didn't flinch when I said getting up at 4 o'clock. And when I tell people sometimes that my alarm goes on like 4:30, they're like, what? Why? I'm like, it's stuff to do.
Yeah. No, like Skepta says in one of his lyrics, every day it's like Saturday. And that's what you want to get to that point where every day is you're doing something that you enjoy and it isn't Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It takes time getting there, having that patience to get.
But that's what I mean. That's why you need to like and enjoy it, right? Because nobody sees the backstory, and the backstory is where you fought all the battles to get there. Yeah. And like I said, if you want to just have a work-life balance, that's cool. But it probably means you're hiding yourself back. I think what we've spoken about when you worrying about what other people think about you is when I was thinking about this before. I was like, if you go and you're scared to show weaknesses or something because people will go at you, you don't need to care about what they think, right? Because it probably means you've tried and failed, but you were brave enough to try and fail. And so you don't need to care about what they think. Because if you go and say that to somebody so you go and say, oh yeah, I failed along the way, but you speak to somebody who's a business owner or something, they'll be like, they're not going to pick at you. Well, some people are just malevolent. Yeah. But they will in general be like, I get that, I understand that. Because they know they've been through the same kind of troubles. Versus the person who will go, oh, you tried and you failed. We've spoken about this. We have like some friends within the group who might take that bit of a stance. But ultimately, I don't care what any of these people think if you haven't tried and taken jobs in the try and fail. You do you, sitting in your safety zone, right? I'll live outside my comfort zone. It may mean that I fall on my face 7 times, but I still get up at the end of it. Like I say, natural state is, let me just keep going.
I was speaking to a friend yesterday, actually, and we was talking about another one of our friends, and he does music and he hasn't really progressed. And we were saying that we think a lot of it is down to him, his fear of failing. You know what I mean? Putting himself out there and to be people to criticise him and say your stuff isn't good, and being able to take that on board. And it was interesting, the conversation that we had about that how much people, I'll be honest, even the beginning when we started doing podcasts, it was a little bit unnervy for me, being on people to watch me and then being able to say, I like him, I don't like him, but you have to, if you want to do it, you've got to actually do it.
That's when you said at the start, you were like, I want you need to be a bit softer, and I want people to like you. I'm like, I can't be a fake me, right?
I mean, what's going to happen is that you have to come out your comfort zone to do everything. Sometimes it's just like, also, if you're doing something and you're not getting results, or you're not getting results you want to get to, or you're doing it half-heartedly, sometimes you might think, this might not be for me, like Charlie said, if you're dreaming. So sometimes it's not for you, you might find another route to how you get there. So if you want to be a rapper and you can't rap, you might be a producer and become a producer. If you want to be in music, you might be an A&R, and you might be someone that writes music, not sings it. Do you know what I mean? There's different ways in getting.
But you need to do it and fail to realise it. That you know what, this ain't for me. Let me try something else.
You can't dip your toes in the water and say, wait till it gets a little bit warmer before I jump in. You got to jump in when it's rather the temperature and just swim and go and see if you sink or swim. So you can't just go things half-heartedly. You never succeed. No one succeeds half-heartedly. If you go to anyone and go, well, Ben, could you lend me £5, please? And like, no one's gonna. It's like, you know what I mean? It's half-heartedly. If you go, well, Ben, bro, can you give me £5, please? I know you might not, but it's more confident. You can't
conviction.
You have a conviction. Everything you do with conviction. You can't do it half-heartedly. Anything you do half-heartedly, you're never going to see that. You're always going to get like lukewarm results.
I just don't understand people that they want change, but they don't do anything to change. It's illogical. It doesn't make sense.
No. I don't think you've got to remember. Sometimes they are buzzwords at the moment, so they don't really want to change because they're not changing.
I know.
So, but again, it's not. I have to be a bit different to maybe sometimes you're used to me being, but it's not easy for people to just find out what it is that they feel that they're passionate about. There needs to be something There needs to be something that trips. There needs to be like a tripwire in their life.
Yeah, no, that I didn't mean necessarily, because I think that is a hard thing to actually find what it is that you want to do. I think more along, like for example, somebody says, I'm not happy with my weight, I want to lose weight. But then they don't actually do anything. Like, I've got Daniela, obviously she's pregnant, she's put on a lot of weight, she's not happy at the moment. But I know her mindset, when the baby's out, she's going to work and she's going to get back in shape. But she's got friends that she will get in better shape than they are in. But for the last year, they've been talking. I want to get.
Yeah, but that's just because it's, again, that's catering to what everybody wants to hear. It's the equivalent of his guy at school saying, "Well, I'm fat. What are you going to do about it?" Yeah. Like, he's happy with the fact he doesn't care. Yeah, he doesn't need anybody else's self-endorsement. So secretly underlying that, do they want to be in shape more than they want an extra piece of cake?
Yeah.
Like, you see what I mean? Like, that's the bottom line.
I know.
But it's good to say I want to be in shape, because then it sounds like
good.
you're doing stuff.
Yeah,
it's the integrity of what you. It's just again, actions are they congruent with what you're saying? And often people's aren't, and often there's a reason for it, but they don't want to fess up to it because they're worried about what everybody else will think.
You know, don't get me wrong. It's not easy trying to get in shape. Do you know what I mean? It's not an easy thing. I still struggle because me and chocolate are just. I've got Easter eggs, like Sophia's Easter eggs that I've been going through. But I do try, do you know what I mean? And some people just...
I think it's that first step where you build it into habit. Because don't get me wrong, I mean, it's habitual to me, but I can't say it's easy to run, an unstandard week. I'm running 60 miles a week. I'm going gym for maybe hour and a half a day, 6 days, 7 days this week. So probably, like, spending 20 hours in the gym. I'm like... But it's not easy. It'll be easier for me to come home and do nothing. Yeah. It'll be easier for me to not come home and then do writing and work on the side at night. It'll be easier for me to just watch The Walking Dead. Because I haven't gone out in a while. It would be easier for me to do all of that. But ease just leads to comfort zone.
You know, psychologically, I think that he has killed The Walking so badly that I'm so far behind now. I can't bring myself to watch it now because I've just got him in the head. Walking Dead. I think psychologically he's damaged me. I really need to catch up.
I hope I don't sue me.
I'm gonna watch it.
Brilliant show.
Yeah. Well, this podcast's been quite a long podcast this week. It's been we see it's an hour and a half.
Had a lot to talk about.
Had a lot.
I was really quiet at the start. It was rare for me, but then I was exploded into life.
Nothing people may have noticed.
Good things. All good things come to an end.
Yeah, it's been a good week. We like the things on the board. We covered it pretty well, and more. A lot more.
Freestyler.
Yeah. So episode 28. Ben, as always.
What are you saying, Ben?
Alright, you know how it goes, guys. Life is only as good as your mindset. Your results are only as good as your hustle. So we hope you find something to hustle that feels like life rather than work. If not, maybe that's some food for thought this week. So enjoy your week, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.